Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a video on young Couto, who is coming back to Manchester City from loan to Girona. Now, I have watched quite a bit of Girona this season, and young Couto is a terrific crosser of the ball. He's defending, but he's not as bad as Cancelo, so he's not a nightmare yet. And let me talk about young Couto in this system for the Manchester City. Because there's no transfer news to talk about, so I'm getting desperate. So Walker, you can go out. Now, this is the system that I'm predicting if Jan Couto plays next season for Manchester City. Foden and De Bruyne as our attacking pair. Guardiola and Rodri in that midfield. Guardiola, of course, stepping into midfield from left back. Savio, our left winger. He's way better than Doku, I promise you that. And Doku in his natural position, which is the right wing. And Savio, he can play any winger position, so he doesn't mind being left or right. So in this system, what would Jan Couto provide that we as Manchester City might need? He perfectly covers the flaws that the problems I suppose that I have with Doku. But that also creates some problems in itself, because to cover the Doku, he has to vacate this space. Now, Jan Couto is quick. He's not Walker quick, but he is. So, can he make up this distance if he has to go forward? The answer is no, because Walker couldn't. He played up here for a lot of the season, and he could not strike back fast enough for the counters. So, if Walker can't do it, Jan Couto definitely could not either. So there is a way that we need to get Jan Couto moving forward to play together with Doku in this area of the pitch, so that Jan Couto can cover for Doku's weaknesses, while at the same time allowing him to get back in defensive shape quick enough. How do we do that? Good question. There's a few ways that we can possibly do that. The first is Guardiola has to step out of midfield. And what that would essentially do is we would essentially abandon our box midfield. And then we would have a very weird formation which would look something like this. And of course, Akanji slots back into defend as a centre back, and Jan Couto slots back as a right back when we defend, but when attacking we will have a very weird formation that looks something like this, with Jan Couto and Doku both high up on that right side. Meanwhile, Guardiola can definitely push up with Savio, or well, to help Savio I mean, to create an overload on this side. But if Guardiola steps up, that means Jan Couto has to drop in, which means Jan Couto goes here, Akanji goes here, and Diaz goes here. Or, better yet, Akanji goes here and Diaz goes here, because obviously Akanji is faster, he can handle the breaks better, whilst Diaz, this central area is covered by Rodri, so most breaks, most counter-attacks that we concede as Manchester City, it's these areas, these wide areas. So, the pace for Diaz isn't important if he is in the middle. And what this essentially does is, well, we can double up on both sides, of course. Again, if one side is doubled up, the other side can't be doubled up. Because it's always a right back who's stepping up, who's going forward to be part of the attacking team. This is something that is somewhat similar to what we used to do in football with, I guess, what you'd call it overlapping fullbacks. It's somewhat similar, but there's a big difference because of the way Manchester City play. We like to hold the ball. We always want to have the ball. And this video is about Jan Couto, not Guardiola, so I'll put Guardiola back here. And let's talk about Jan Couto then. Jan Couto would have to provide passes. He can do that in short areas. He would have to provide crosses to Haaland. He can do that. He would have to provide space for Doku. He can do that. He'll have to track back for the Doku because Doku doesn't track back well. He can do that. But for the system, what does it actually mean for the system? So, how will we play if we look like this, set up? We're obviously going to go to this area on the right. We're obviously going to drag our players out to here. Rodri might even join in, or Foden. I doubt both will join in at the same time. But I'll create overloads on this right side. Young Couto has a great crossing ability, which tells me, and just long balls in general, which tells me if we create overloads on this side, our defenders will also come back to defend this area of the pitch, because it's heavily contested. Which means young Couto play long balls to Savio. He has played together with Savio. He knows what Savio wants, how Savio plays. Could play long balls over, potentially feed Savio, and then create scenarios where Savio has to be in a one-on-one, and Savio is winning a one-on-one, and then he's either through on goal or can pass it to Haaland. And if that doesn't work, we can also cross it straight to Haaland, or just work a goal through in a tight space, like Manchester City often does. It's nothing revolutionary, it's just something that already existed with overlapping fullbacks, done differently. And that is why I really like the idea of young Couto, but I also dread it. Because let's go back to defending. At the end of the day, young Couto is a defender. If young Couto is occupying this space on the right, then Akanji has to drop to the right to cover for him. Okay, that works. Okay, perfect. But what if, because if we always go through the right, eventually teams will figure us out and develop a way to stop it. So we also need to be able to do this from the other side. Oh, and we have a problem. Diaz is not fast enough to cover Guardiola. So Akanji would have to go all the way over here to allow Guardiola to push up. Akanji would have to run across the length of the pitch constantly. There is a solution. There is a really, really good solution. And that is by removing Diaz and putting Ake on the pitch. However, Diaz is our best box midfielder. Put Diaz in this area. This is where he is the best at Manchester City. Yeah, he is the best box midfielder for City. And he has great with headers too. Well, he hasn't scored a header in a long time, but he used to be at least. So, are we really going to sacrifice Diaz for young Couto? Because if we go back to our other system with Walker and then Diaz, we can always put Akanji on this side, and we can slot into this box midfield with Guardiola, and then when we go defend, Guardiola can just drop back in a back four. And that way, box midfield covers for Diaz. Akanji can handle long distances. Come on, remove it. And Walker can handle long distances. We can't play young Couto as the exact same way as Walker, because young Couto's greatest ability is his crossing, while Walker's greatest ability is his, well, defending. Which young Couto, again, not as bad as Cancelo, not good enough to replace Walker as a defender. So what else can young Couto do? Maybe young Couto can be a right winger. Okay, we have him as a backup right winger if Doku is sick or needs to be rested. Then young Couto can play in this system. I don't know if that works. I don't know if I like it. If we're gonna do this, just buy Frimpong. Frimpong, he's also seen as a right back, but he actually plays as right winger for Leverkusen. If you actually watch him, he doesn't play as a right back. He just comes back to defend, but so does Grealish. Does that make Grealish a left back? Obviously not. So, if we're going to do this, just buy Frimpong. And you might then have the argument, oh, but he is a versatility player. If Doku needs to get rested, young Couto can come in for the Doku. And if Walker needs to get rested, young Couto can come in. Why is my PC dying? If Walker needs to be rested, we can play young Couto. Now, this is something I can understand, and I can see where they're coming from. Again, he's fast, he can cover these areas. I just don't know if I'm happy with it. Again, this little system that I have thought up here with young Couto and Doku up high, that is what gets me excited about young Couto at Manchester City. But I don't quite know what that means for the Diaz, who I don't want to be dropped. And I don't quite know how we compensate the areas that young Couto will vacate if he does this. So, young Couto for me, he's a big question mark. And if we keep him, Manchester City fans, if we keep young Couto and we don't just loan him back out or sell him, it means we are trying to entirely change our system. Because I don't see him as a versatility player, I just don't. So, tell me what you think about that. Do you see him as a versatility player? Do you think there's another system that I have overlooked that could work for young Couto? I don't know. Tell me down below in the comments. Please do like and subscribe, always help the channel out a ton. And Transfernews is dead. I'm waiting for an update. Please, Romano Fabrizio. Why can't I say his name? Romano Fabrizio. Fuck off. Fabrizio. There we go. Please drop some transfer news because I'm starving. And yeah, I don't know where I was. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.